Hey everybody, it's me, MiaFran again. Welcome back to my channel and to the premiere review of the early premiere of the first episode of the final season of Fruits Basket. Now, I did mention in my last video that I was going to be making a review for this, so this is your spoiler warning. I'm not going to give any other spoiler warnings in this video. Let's get right into it, starting now. So I was crying the entire time this episode was going on, pretty much. I had to pause it several times just so I could kind of reflect on what's going on, what's happening, kind of try to remember what happened at the very end of season 2. So we continue on in this first episode here with the conversation between Kureno and Toru. So Toru has just tried to get Kureno to go and talk to Uo-chan or Arisa, and he's decided that he can't because there's still somebody that he needs to take care of, and that is Akito. So we did see this conversation in the final episode of season 2, and we left it on the revelation that Akito is not male, but is actually female. So Akito has been raised as a male her entire life, and we've learned from Kureno in this continuation of the conversation that that is due to Akito's mother, Ren. I was gonna say Rin, it's Ren. The woman with very long hair and the painted nails. I talked about her in the previous video, and we actually got to see that screenshot of Akito choking her own mother because she made her upset. So we learned from Kureno, or at least Toru learns from Kureno, in very sad very sad conversation, that the reason why he can't leave Akito is because Akito needs him. And it's not because she's really forcing him to stay there. He feels that she needs him because when Akito kind of acts up in front of the older Zodiac members, and that includes the 4 oldest, Kureno, Hattori, Shigure, and Ayame, they are the only members of the Zodiac that know that Akito is female. Because they were already alive and around before Akito was conceived. So he tells Toru that the day after Akito was conceived, that he and the others woke up crying. They all had the same dream, that they saw the future god of the Zodiac, the future representation of God within the Zodiac story, say, I can't wait to meet all of you. So they all knew before Akito was born that she was going to be born. And they all woke up, were crying, tears on their faces, and they walk up to Ren, who doesn't even know she's pregnant at this moment. It just happened. Akito was just conceived the night before, and they all kind of like touch her stomach, like they all know, and then that kind of signals to everybody that Akito, or this child that was just conceived, is going to be God in the Zodiac story. And Ritsu was also alive during this time. Ritsu was a little kid as well, younger than Kureno, so he was too young for that to happen to him. So that's why it's only the 4 oldest. So from this point on, they went about it in a way of raising Akito as a male, because that's what Ren wanted. And she's been flaunting this in Akito's face her entire life, that all of the Zodiac relationships that Akito has, the bonds with all the Zodiac members, that they're all fake. They're not real relationships, and she kind of brags to her own daughter, like, the relationship that I have with your father is actual love. That's an actual real relationship, and when I die, we're gonna be together again, because we love each other and our love was real. So basically, Ren has told Akito her entire life that she doesn't have any true, real, loving relationships or bonds. And that's why Akito acts out the way that she does. It doesn't excuse her behavior, obviously. Hurt people, as the saying goes. And there's a moment, after she's kind of done strangling her own mother, that she asks Hattori, like, why is she so mean? Why is she always so mean and say such mean things to me? And you kind of have to sit there and be like, well, you do the same thing, except you kind of escalate it to a physical kind of level. And again, it's that saying, hurt people hurt people. Akito is kind of trying to show her power to her own mother. Like, you know, no, these are real bonds, and you know how I'm gonna show you that they're real? If they disrespect me or disobey me, not only am I going to tell them how stupid and worthless they are, because, you know, as long as they love me, everything is okay. As long as they're with me, they will be loved, and they will love me in return, because that's how the bonds are. That's how it's supposed to be. So when one of those bonds breaks, Akito that's why she goes kind of like ballistic when we see the flashback of Kureno's curse breaking. But he also chooses to stay because he puts his own feelings on the back burner. He doesn't do what he wants to do, which is, you know, move on in his own life and leave and go be with Uo-chan. No, he puts Akito's feelings first because, one, I feel like he's just known that his entire life, and two, he mentions it. He says, all I see, you know, I see a scared little girl, and, you know, I feel like I have to protect her. And that's how Hattori's acting the same way. We see this little flashback of Akito saying, Hattori, please hug me, you know, come on, hug me, you know, when she's like upset about something. And so he does, because that will comfort her, because they can see that she, you know, is being hurt. And, you know, of course, she doesn't obviously deserve to be hurt in this way by her own mother. That's awful. A lot of the characters in this series have terrible parents. We've seen that on many an occasion between all of the different characters. And I believe Akito also mentions it too. Something like, you know, all of these, you're just like all these other parents that they abandon their children and they do terrible things to them, but I'm always there for them, so I always make sure that they're loved. Except for Rin. I mean, she still pushed her out of a window, so I don't know how that shows love, but, you know. Again, Akito's very much reminded of her own mother when she sees Rin, so yeah, just because looks-wise, and then their names are similar, as I mentioned in the previous video. But Kureno, you know, basically tells Toru, like, that's why I can't be with Arisa. You know, I have to stay with Akito. I can't leave and be with somebody that I do love. You know, he does love Uo-chan, but Akito still needs him in his eyes, and that's his duty. Even though the bonds are broken, he's going to just continue on with the same routine. And so he leaves. And of course Toru is like, you know, crying the entire time, because now she's finally learning this backstory about Akito. She's very shocked that Akito's a woman, which, you know, I would probably be very shocked as well. Because she, you know, mentions, like, but she doesn't act like a woman. She, you know, dresses like a man. It's stereotypically what a man dresses like and stuff. But she's just kind of trying to process the entire thing. And, you know, she's also just, like, upset because she really wanted him to see Uo-chan. And he says no. And he even apologizes, obviously. You know, Kureno's a good guy. He's a very kind person. He wouldn't be my second favorite if he wasn't, you know, like, such just a good person. You know, she's like, I need to say something, but I can't speak. She's like, the words won't come out. All I can do is just stand here and cry. So then Hanajima comes and takes her to her house, and let me just say real quick, I had to pause on the screen when we saw Hanajima's room, because girl, her aesthetic is like my favorite thing. Like, I wish my room looks like hers. It's so cute. It's got the purple accents, you know, purple bedspreads, but like the, you know, the black as well, and even their teacups are black, and I love Hanajima. Like, her style is like, I wish my style was that refined. In terms of, like, my room, obviously, look at my room, but, like, you know, she's got a really good aesthetic. I love it. But she's also a really great friend. And I like the point that they bring up when Toru kind of finally opens up to her and tells her, like, I tried to get him to talk to Uo-chan. It turns out her Kureno is Kureno-soma, like, they're the same person. And he told me no. He put so, someone else's feelings before his own. And, Toru makes that comment, and then she says, every time I try to help people, and every time I try to put someone else's feelings first, it never works out. Like, the one time I've tried, because Toru does all of these things unconsciously, she doesn't really realize that she does this all the time. She always puts other people's feelings before her own. That's just who she is naturally as a person, and Hanajima does mention that. She says, Toru, you do this all the time. You're always putting other people's feelings before your own. And, that's great and all. And I also agree with what she says, but, when you don't put your own feelings before others, sometimes, like, that could really backfire on you. Like, carrying other people's burdens without carrying your own, it's just going to start weighing on you. And, basically she's telling Toru, like, sometimes it's okay to, do things for yourself every once in a while. You don't always have to take on the burdens of other people to make sure that they're happy, even if it makes you tired or miserable or what have you. And of course, they get Uo-chan to come in, and Toru's like, oh, did you hear everything I said? And she's like, yep, I heard the whole conversation. And Uo-chan, basically says, I'm okay, everything's gonna be fine. I tend, you and him really are very similar. You're like the same person. I have a weakness for dummies. She says you're both the same kind of dumb. And that just made me, I'm holding back like the need to tear up while I'm discussing this, just because I think the show really does give you a good example of what a really good friend group should be like. Like, I know a lot of people like to say, you need to have a lot of friends around you, and in all honesty, if you can get 2 or 3 really close friends that really understand you, and, if they treat you the way that Uo-chan and Hanajima and Toru treat each other as friends, those are, like, the best kind of friends. They're, like, friends for life. I didn't think I was gonna start crying recording them, but yeah, I did. Of course I did. I've been trying to, like, hold back tears the entire time, but that's something that really affects me. You have to have some really good friends who want to, put your happiness in front of theirs, even if, they really don't have any, like, they don't really get anything out of it. Like, Toru doesn't really get anything out of Uo-chan being with Kureno, but, really what she gets out of it is, like, my friend is happy, and she's with the person that she loves. But, yeah, I agree. I think Toru needs to realize that, and she, we're gonna probably see that as the season goes on, that she's gonna have to put her own needs in front of other people's needs, because eventually she's gonna have to make, really big decisions as to, do I stay here with the Somas? Do I leave? Do I try to continue and pursue a friendship with people, or a relationship with other people, or what have you? But that's also the reason why Akito doesn't like Toru, is because, it goes back to the whole, well, the bonds are fake, they're not real, it's not real love once they're broken. The person who was under that bond is going to realize that it wasn't really a real thing, and even Kurano makes that comment, like, once the bond was broken, he kind of, like, woke up and realized it wasn't, like, it's a connection. It's definitely a connection that they can only feel and understand. But once it's broken, they kind of realize that, yes, it was a connection, but was it actually real because we really connected, or was it just a connection because the other person, the spirit inside of me, had that connection instead? Because he mentions that the Zodiac spirit, it's like a separate entity within them. So, like, he can feel it feeling different things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he is also personally feeling that thing with, that connection that the spirit is feeling with God, and vice versa. Like, just because their spirits are connected, the Zodiac spirits within them are connected, doesn't mean the actual people are connected, is basically what what it's trying to say or what he's trying to explain. But even so, again, that makes it harder to leave as well, because, you know, again, they see this scared child in Akito, even though she's a grown woman, but she was never really given the chance to be a child or a female. She has all this. She's put on a pedestal at birth, or at conception, basically, and is treated as such. But that also kind of hinders her development, and that's why she doesn't like Toru, because Toru can naturally make real, true bonds without any past connections to other people, especially with the other Zodiac members. And so it's interesting to see that that's the reason why Akito hates Toru and wants her to leave and thinks that she's going to steal all of the Zodiac members away from her, when in reality Toru just learned her backstory and was upset about it, crying about it. And, you know, Toru is not one of those people that is going to be malicious about it. She's going to want to still understand Akito and what she's like. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that happens and how that kind of goes about being done with season 3. And really, those are all of my thoughts on the episode, without kind of like delving way too deep into it. But if you do watch it on Funimation right now, you can watch it dubbed. So I did watch the English dub. It was freaking amazing, as always. And if you do watch it now, you're going to be able to see some really cool little extra messages from some of the English dub cast. They've got Colleen Clinkenbeard, Jerry Jewell, Eric Vale, Brina Palencia, and Ian Sinclair talking about this upcoming season of Fruits Basket. So they give some really good insights onto their characters. They talk about what they're excited to see in season 3. They talk about what the show means to them, what the show is about, you know, the lessons that they think really resonate in there. And they even give advice to their characters, which I'm like, why would you do that? That's also gonna make me cry. I'm just surprised they didn't talk to Caitlin Glass, because she's the ADR director for the dub, but, you know, just know Caitlin, you were doing a fantastic job. You know, when I learned that Caitlin Glass was gonna be the director for the English dub of the reboot, I was extremely excited, because she knows what she's doing. She's a really good voice director, and I can't wait to see how everybody is going to react to everything happening. And, you know, as a fan, longtime fan of the series, just in general, I can't wait to see everything animated, and I can't wait to cry some more. So other than that, everybody, I do want to thank you for clicking on this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And I believe it's going to be the same episode next week, because this is like an early premiere, or whenever I don't know if it's next week or the week after next, but when season 3 like officially premieres, it's going to be the same episode. This is episode 0, but it's really like episode 1. So yeah, we just kind of got the first episode early, and we got it dubbed, so that's really great. So I'm excited to continue on with the story, and so, you know, when the next new episode does come out, you know, look forward to a new video at the end of the week, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait. You know, get your tissues ready. They definitely tell you to get your tissues ready. You're gonna ugly cry. And I agree with, you know, with Eric Vale that, you know, you are definitely going to ugly cry. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought of this early premiere episode, and of course about, you know, the stuff that they're talking about at the very end with the different voice actors. I thought it was really interesting stuff. It's always really cool to hear like behind the scenes kind of things like that. And if you like this video, you know, give it a thumbs up, share it if you would like, and don't forget to subscribe as well. You know, I really want to get some more subscribers so we can do some more cool things. And don't forget to check out my Twitter, my Twitch channel, where I do stream games every single week as well. We are currently playing some Persona 5 Royal, Kingdom Hearts 3, some Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm gonna start playing Persona 5 Strikers soon as well. So it's gonna be, you know, a fun, big, jumbled mess of a bunch of different kinds of games. And of course, if you do want to continue supporting me and you would like to become a patron, go check out my Patreon. You can, for as little as $1 a month, get your name here on the screen like you see some of the names up here right now. And if you want to become a $3 and up patron for a vocal, audible shoutout at the end of every single one of my YouTube videos and Twitch streams, again, you can also check out my Patreon, become a patron today. So special thanks to both Animepalooza and Elizabeth for being the best of patrons. And yeah, have fun, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!